And hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 6 of our Mechwarrior Destiny actual play here on the Shadowcasters network. I am Clifton, the GM, joined by Ava Rogers playing Finn, Cade as John Texas Crow, Trav Farlander as Ian Warden. How are you all doing today?
Good.
Doing all right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good to be back playing some Mechwarrior Destiny. Sailing Master, thanks for joining us.
All
Glad to
right.
be here at the beginning this time.
Yep.
Hopefully you've got the chance to catch up on some of the previous episodes. Otherwise, we'll spoil a few things for you, but, oh well. That's fun.
Yeah.
You get to see things as they happen. As the dice fall, and it's been a pretty exciting campaign so far. Why don't we do maybe a little bit of a brief recap here for anyone who's tuning in for the first time or just skipping ahead in the archives. Who wants to start?
I don't know that I want to start, but I want to say you've really coined a good name for a TTRPG soap opera there, As the Dice Fall. I like that.
Nice. Yeah. That
Join us this week for As the Dice Fall.
Our team successfully infiltrated the local garrison at Medgar's Folly, a small town on an otherwise crap planet that was an unfinished terraforming project from the Star League era. We successfully got our mechs that we were supposed to start with, but this was the narrative way of doing that, and then found ourselves staring down the barrel of a lot of oncoming weapons, which we managed to, survive?
Well,
There was laser beams, there was PPC explosions, there were SRMs, there were molten metal everywhere.
A lot of help from the townsfolk.
Yeah,
Yep.
Ham and Cheese went out in definitely a blaze of glory, I would say, or certainly a blaze as his fusion reactor exploded.
Yeah.
I think the crew of the Demolisher heavy tank, that big scary thing with a pair of AC-20s on the turret, it took a few hits, but ultimately surrendered when it became clear that they couldn't actually approach you while you were shooting at them.
Well, the tank commander didn't want to surrender, but
I was going to say after a more intelligent individual decided to take care of the one in charge of speaking for them.
Yeah, we had the look at me, I am the captain now.
I am the captain now.
we're gonna have to hose that thing out before we can use it. Actually, that's true of your mech, though.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to hose yours out too, buddy.
There were some headshots, some cockpit hits in that fight.
Yeah, there were.
More than one for some of you. I think Ian Warden got banged up really badly.
Got his bell rung.
Was it Cade that got hit in the head as well, or was that Ava or Finn?
I did not get hit. Finn did not get hit.
Nice.
It was that LRM-15 from Ham and Cheese, man. That thing was hitting us in the head all over the place.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cowboy got his hat knocked off again.
Let's see. That said, other forces that you'd forced to surrender was a Valkyrie light mech piloted by Shen, the strong, silent mech warrior who was part of the original garrison here. And then I think there wasn't much left to salvage of any of the other mechs. Maybe like a leg here and there.
Yeah.
And then one of the pack rat patrol vehicles was shredded by Finn on its way to the town. But the other one got into the base, and that particular vehicle carries a contingency of infantry. And they're in the process of working their way through and attempting to seize the Star League base. It's got some defenses online, and you've got some locals that have been really slowing them down and holding them off. But it's still just a matter of time. So that's probably the most pressing matter.
Yeah. As soon as everything's taken care of where they're at, Finn is like, nope, zoom.
Yep.
Okay, so no real break in time between the end of the last one and the beginning of this one. You've formed up as your lance. You can still see the sort of mini mushroom cloud gradually expanding, and it'll eventually blow and fade away, marking the position where Ham and Cheese bit it.
I'm sure nothing will come of that. It's fine.
And there's some frenzied comm messages coming in, being patched through by the base AI. It's hard to tell exactly what anyone's saying because it's punctuated by staccato bursts of gunfire. It seems like they got the machine gun going on. The only thing that you managed to get through clearly enough is can't hold for long.
On our way.
Finn, Cowboy, I think y'all's mechs can get in the front door well enough to bring a bead with your machine guns. I'm going to go around the back and park this thing and then reinforce from the inside.
Okay, so Ian Warden, you go running around at that side tunnel that you'd blown open with your PPCs. What seems so long ago now.
I blew away the rock obstruction. I think the doors are still good.
Sure, and you go walking through in that side tunnel. It's eerily dark and silent within, and able to find the where that large elevator station is, where you can stop your mech there, and it starts to lower down into the base. As you're doing that, Finn and John Texas Crow are taking their much faster mechs up to the front of the base. You can see it looks like the pack rat is parked out front, and it doesn't appear to be piloted by anyone because it doesn't shoot at you as you approach. Though its engines are still showing as warm, they're kind of leaving it running. You remember, actually, this vehicle...
That'll be handy.
Yeah, this vehicle is actually a fusion-powered one, so it basically never runs out of gas.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it handy for long
That'll
range
be handy to have.
Very.
The actual front gates are open.
Okay, so
In we go.
So you can pilot your mechs inside. Once you get inside there, there's a few bursts of gunfire as a couple of the pirates start shooting up at your mechs with their assault rifles. The bullets don't seem to have any effect on your mechs.
Yeah, I'm
You
gonna.
have one chance to surrender.
Yeah, that's right. Flick on the external speaker. I mean, both of us have our machine guns ready to rock on and hose the area down. I'm gonna flick on my external speaker and simply say, you have 10 seconds to lay down your weapons. It's over. You can get on the comms and check. Everyone is surrendered, and Hammond is dead. And you can join him, or you can give up your arms right now.
Pretty sure if you step outside, you can still see Hammond's mushroom cloud.
Nice touch.
All right. This sounds like a narration with a skill roll. Get him to stand down.
Yeah.
Who wants to make the roll for that? What are you using?
That sounds
Texas.
to me.
Texas, this is on you. I'm not a social character.
Okay, I guess.
I think I have 2 charisma, maybe.
That sounds
no
like
skill.
intimidate. It's either intimidate or, it's not a con because it's true, right? So, yeah. I mean, I think maybe just straight intimidate.
Sounds good to me. I'm just gonna roll
All right.
2 dice against you on this because it seems like it would be an easy roll.
All right, rolled an 8 plus 4 is 12.
All right, 7 on the dice. One of them sort of puts up their hands and says, "All right, fine. It's cool. You got the mechs." The other one kind of raises up his hands as well, and then turns to bolt to go run down the hallway to get away. Still with his weapon. You have a chance to gun him down if you want to. Either of you.
Yeah. I would like to do that. As gory as it sounds.
Give me a gunnery roll. Firing off with the machine gun.
9 plus 5 is 14.
All right, I rolled a 6, a 5, and a 5. So that's a 15 or 16. I mean, I can count. So he manages to just run and zig and zag, and you can see he's just totally freaking out. But it looks like he's going to get away unless Finn wants to lay down some fire as well.
Yeah, she does.
Okay. Go ahead
Why
and
can
make
I
your
never
roll.
just be smart? Gunnery. Alrighty. 2d6 plus 5. That's a 14.
I got 2 6s and a 3. That's a 15. So yeah, all these
Christ.
bullets flying around. It's like that scene in Pulp Fiction where the dude comes out of the bathroom and all the bullets, but none of them hit the guy. I guess it's an old reference now.
A little bit.
I'm an old person. I get it.
All right. So yeah,
I mean, I've seen it.
there's
So.
ricochets and fragments of the concrete that are getting blasted off just all around this guy, and he's probably taken a few like glancing hits from some of the shrapnel or the ricochets, but nothing that seems to drop him. And he gets around the corner.
Did I get his cowboy hat?
Yes, you hit his cowboy hat.
Revenge!
However, upon closer inspection, you realize it's a fedora.
Oh, okay. All right.
The other
Not
one,
even like an actual trilby?
the other guy is like throwing himself to the ground and he's probably screaming as he's like squirming down there. But yeah, as the gunfire is, stop shooting, I give up.
What possessed you to think you're gonna outrun a mech? On foot?
So, is this this guy ran back into that area where the rest of the firefight's happening?
Sounds like it. Yeah, they're in this entry bay area. There's enough room for probably 3 or 4 mechs to even stand around in here. Normally, though it's a bit cluttered with some of the stuff in the base, as you've been trying to make some sense of the place, but haven't had much time of it since you've taken it over before. But yeah, further in is where there are corridors where that's only big enough for people to go down. That's one of the ones that he went down. But there is like one sort of main hall that you can walk mechs down that can go to these little side areas that have been set up as the mech repair bays. So the mechs can move about within the base to some degree, but only to a very limited degree, and they can't get to where that bar is, where there's the entrance to the deeper part of the base, the Star League area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm good with walking my mech down that area as far as I can go, and be on the lookout for, any stragglers or any opposition that's there.
All right.
And we're here to deal with the fight going on.
The other thing that I should mention as well is the control room for the base that also has sort of the windows to look out.
Oh yeah.
Over Medgar's Folly and a lot of the surrounding area. It also has the gate controls up in there. That's sort of just off of this big room that you're in. So you could stop in there if you wanted to, but that would require you to get out of your mech at this point.
Well. Plan. If we get into the control room, we might be able to see what's going on in that.
We could probably deploy one of the security bots.
Yeah, we might be able to do something in there.
Well, it's not the control room for the Star League era part of the base. It's kind of the pirate base control room. So a lot of the stuff that they have rigged up, their own cameras and systems, which is fairly haphazard and jury-rigged. But all of that stuff would be controllable from here, but nothing really deeper within the Star League era base yet. You haven't actually had the time to integrate a lot of the pirate base stuff with the Star League part of the base yet.
Right.
Speaking of which, let's just cut to I guess back as deeper in the Star League base. There's that nicely lit up sort of mostly whites and chromes space It's sort of cylindrical as the lift goes down, bearing the Marauder, which was once so pristine here and is now like got huge chunks of its armor melted or blasted off. Cracks in the canopy of the cockpit, but no actual internal damage, so it's all superficial. But boy, does it look rough.
Yeah, feels rough right now. Feels rough. Did we find any elemental suits stored?
I don't know that you've looked in particular for anything like that in particular. You spent a fair bit of your time just getting some of the power systems back online.
True. Okay.
So you haven't really had much chance to explore the base.
I'm going to ask Charlie. First of all, hey, Charlie, did you ever get control of the heavy drones? The heavy security drones?
No, I don't have any access to the security drones. Or rather, I don't believe any of them are currently functional.
I thought there was 3 more hanging around. I know there's one that got dispatched on us, but crap. All right. Do you know if there were any elemental suits stored?
Elemental suits. I'm not familiar with the term.
Crap. All right. I was afraid of that.
You're referring to combat armor.
Yeah.
I do have something of that variety within the armory. A variety of items. Would you like me to send you an inventory?
Please.
Okay, you get a little blip file received. And it pops up a little text file, and it's a sizable amount of various weaponry. Most of it personal weapons, things like laser pistols and rifles, shotguns, slug throwers, things like assault rifles, even a couple of machine guns, portable, like man-portable SRMs, a variety of ammunition for that, including flamer, as well as, explosive warheads. And as you go scrolling through, you do find something that it's got a designation. It's described as a battle suit, but
Yep.
You're not familiar with the model. You've never seen it before.
Gonna have to get familiar real quick.
It
Okay,
looks like
so
there are 6 of those.
I am going to head to the. I'm going to eject from the. Come out of the canopy, and ask for directions to the armory real fast, and just haul ass.
Okay. Unfortunately, the tram is the tram rail is pretty wrecked here, so you have to run for a little bit before a tram can pick you up. You can hop on it, can start zipping you along the way there. But yeah, you have a little heads-up display blip of a waypoint, and Charlie is giving you directions and pulling the tram along with you. Also, give you an update that the defense turret systems are online, but they are static defenses.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's heavy fire going on at the entrance to the deeper base. She's detected signs of several explosions, and estimates that it's only a matter of time before that will be breached.
Okay. Crap. Patch over to Finn and John Texas and say, do you guys, either you have communications with the defenders, because they may need to back up.
All right, we'll cut to, I guess, Finn and John Texas Crow. Have any of you gotten out of your mechs yet to go to the command center, or are you doing something else?
Yeah. Finn would have, at least to get an idea, to figure out where everybody's at in the base, to get and to start formulating a plan of attack.
All right, so we'll cut to Finn's in the control room. Your comm unit's sort of chattering off nearby as Ian's speaking, and John Texas Crow kind of covering things from the cockpit of his Phoenix Hawk.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay, your prisoner is probably bound in some restraints, sitting in the corner, cooperating and generally trying not to draw attention to himself.
Fair enough. Can't blame him.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've got... what do you need?
Can you tell them to do a tactical withdraw? Go back to corridor juncture A4. There's more turrets there that can help them.
I guess Finn is going to coordinate these efforts.
All right, go ahead and give me a narration then. Give me a roll to see how well you're doing that. What skill would you like to use?
I don't know. So Finn is mostly taking Ian's lead on this, just kind of like, where am I sending them? And then she's, tracking them on the cameras as well as enemy movements and figuring out where everybody is at. This sounds like intelligence-based, but...
Yeah, I think the communications skill would be particularly appropriate. But,
yeah.
Can I roll tactics to see if she gets a bonus?
This is more her pulling off the tech side of things, getting the communications or the commands that are working in her favor.
Gotcha.
In a helpful way, rather than your actual tactics. That will come in a moment, though, so keep that ready.
All right.
So could I make an argument? I don't know. I don't really have a good skill for this.
I guess you picked up a computer
I
skill.
picked up computers, yeah.
I think that's maybe a good close second. I'm tempted to allow tech, but that's really more about, like, fixing things. And
I was going to say, I would be great. If you would allow tech, that'd be great.
Let's stick with the computer one now. That
Yeah,
seems more appropriate.
alright.
You're operating the tech, not fixing it or rewiring it or something.
Fair enough. All right, so 2d6 plus 4. 12?
All right, I got a 4, a 3, and a 2. So with the 9,
Yay.
yep, you're able to patch things up and get a view on the cameras and start putting together an idea of like what they're up against. It looks like there are still there's a group of 7 pirates, no 8. The one that ran from ran from you guys has joined them, and yeah, they're pretty much all gathered just in that hallway right outside that bar area. And sort of ducking in and taking some shots, and shots are being fired back, and they're passing inventory amongst them. It looks like they still have a lot of grenades. Inside the actual bar area, it looks like they've got a decent some decent cover set up. A lot of it's been chewed up, but it looks like the people that you sent in there's a fair number of bodies. Some of them are plainly of the pirates who have run in and gotten gunned down, but some of them are from your own people that are defending the place. Some of them you actually recognize. It looks like they've been mostly damaged by explosions from the grenades that have been tossed in, but a couple of them have some minor gunshot injuries as well. They're holding things down for a bit, but you can see the actual machine gun, like. Even over the cameras, you can tell the machine gun is running really hot. Like they just can't keep up this amount of fire for this long, and they must be running low on ammo as well. So yeah, they're in a bit of a tough situation. They'll probably eventually get overrun the way things are going. But it's also not like an extremely huge, overwhelming force coming at them either. If you can, if they can coordinate things. Maybe things will work out. So here comes the tactics roll.
Yeah, so Finn is describing all of everything that is going on to Ian. This is where they're at. This is how many we've got. This is the grenades. We need to get...
As you're talking and explaining things and sharing some of the information, Charlie's sort of grabbing some of the data and patching it together. And those of you who have like heads-up displays, if you're still wearing your helmets, or if you have like a comm unit handy with a display, you can have like little maps with blips on them to show the tactical positions. So Ian, Warden, you're kind of glancing at it, and it's sort of helping in a way that seems almost like it's really intuitively supportive. Thank you, AI. you're a good friend, Charlie. So yeah, go ahead and give me your tactics roll.
I edged to get an 11.
All right, I'm rolling 3 dice against you. I've got a 5, a 5, and a 3. That's a 13.
Ouch.
Not good
So-
enough. Crap.
So yeah, what happens is they do pull back. However, like half of them are shot down in the process because just the timing of it doesn't work out. You're not able to quite get a good read on the situation and exactly where the fight is. They start to run back. Grenades are thrown in, and then enemies rush in. There's a hail of gunfire, and it's a bunch of bad luck all at once. But yeah, now there's like only 4 of these defenders left. They're trying to pull some wounded ones back. Some of them are obviously dead. But at that point, it looks like they did manage to pull back some, and they do have the advantage of the actual fire support of the turrets. So when the pirates come rushing through, the first one just gets a face full of laser fire, and the second one gets vengeful gunfire from the surviving defenders. But then the remaining 6 of them sort of hang back around the corner and start getting their grenades ready again. Damn, they brought a lot of those things. So in the meantime,
Just get a litany of curses from Finn as she's watching this all go down.
All right, John Texas Crow, you're up in your Phoenix Hawk cockpit. Still feeling pretty rough from your recent battle, but what are you doing?
Trying to figure out what I can do. What I'm thinking about doing is, can I patch in and use my and use the system on my Phoenix Hawk to be able to patch into the pirate's comm system at all? Is that something that I could be able to do?
Yeah, that'd require, I think, a communications roll. Do you have
Okay.
that skill?
I do not. And fortunately, I have a low intelligence, but I have a low intelligence to compensate. So I'll that would be an intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm wanting to do is patch in there and be able to and then be able to just kind of mess up their communication with each other, so that their efforts are kind of discoordinated and sow confusion among them. So I'll see what I can do here.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, you've got this mech here with this advanced comm system with probably things you can use to jam comms and hack them. There's a lot of dials and control settings here that you're not quite sure what all of them do, but
Well, let's see if you could beat a 7.
I rolled 3 4s. So yeah, you mess around with it a little bit, but you can't seem to figure out how to do anything like that. You can't even get to something that looks like it's something you would do that with.
I feel like Zoolander trying to get into the computer. So.
Right, you're flipping some switches like at one point it says ejection in 3 2 no. Beginning
Wrong
cooling
lever,
maintenance.
Crunk.
Beginning cooling maintenance cycle. Shutting down fusion engine in 3 2 no. So probably a couple moments like that. You managed not to do anything you don't intend to, but you don't manage to do anything you intend to as well, I'm afraid.
Okay, all right. That's my sterling narration right there.
So yeah, cutting back to Ian Warden, you're actually pretty beat up right now too, right? Pretty badly bruised, maybe a broken rib.
Yep. I am.
You arrive at the armory. The door slides open, and it's essentially like a wide hallway with kind of like a locker room actually, with the benches along the sides and all these different cases and bays and shelves. Toward the back, you can see where the previously as yet unnamed battle armor is stored.
Head for it.
And you can see those are some pretty large. They kind of look like large cryo cylinder tubes out of some old sci-fi movie.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get up to them, you can sort of the console comes to life, and Charlie's kind of anticipating what you want to do and turning things on, routing the power as necessary. And you go ahead and take a look at it and some of the specs, and it pops up with a little hologram of what it looks like inside there. And these definitely look like what you would think of as something like an elemental suit.
Yeah.
These are not just personal body armor. These are small humanoid mechs, probably only a couple tons in weight, but it seems like they have actually fusion power, as well as jump capabilities and a variety of different potential weapon mounts. No weapons mounted on any of them currently. It looks like they have, two hands. There's sort of instead of looking like elementals, think of like almost like, well, I don't want to put a wrong image, particular image. Just think of like sort of wide, bulky, torso heavy robot, and it's got these.
It's like a Mackie.
Yeah, it's got definitely a lot smaller than a Mackie. These aren't like proto mechs. They're actual like battle suits. They might
exoskeletons.
They might be able to take armored exoskeletons. They might be able to survive like a medium laser hit, but probably not 2.
All right, power armor it is. I will suit up as quickly as I can, and then on my way out, I will take probably a heavy laser in both hands.
Okay, that would amount to essentially the mech equivalent of a small laser, but it's sort of carried.
Yep.
Normally for like infantry, they'd set it down with a tripod and fire it that way, but you can carry it with this. Sure. And
figure I can hand one off to the infantry that if I can meet up with them. So
you got a flamer system that's based off of the fusion core. So I guess probably more plasma based. The jump jets are online. There's basically one jet mounted along each on each of the lower legs, and then one each sort of under the forearms, rather than on the back.
Flamer versus infantry is a good odds.
If you want any weapons other than the built-in flamer, you have to carry it or add it to one of the modular mounts.
I'm carrying a couple of heavy lasers. I'm thinking if I'm wielding one and I drop the other with the other infantry when I get there, great. We've force multiplied.
Okay, what you can do is like grab one and lock it into the shoulder weapon mount, and then carry the other one with your arms.
Works.
All right, go ahead and just give me a piloting roll to see if you can get used to this thing. You've never piloted anything like this before.
12.
Reminds you a little bit of the old training exoskeletons that they would let you use before strapping into a real mech. And even for those, you had to spend a lot of time in the simulators before they even let you strap into those. So yeah, you've practiced for things that if anything, you expect it to be like really slow and cumbersome, but you almost fall over at first because it responds so quickly and almost gracefully to your commands. So yeah, you find it actually really easy to get used to. You're not sure that you want to try messing with the jump jets with the such a unyielding ceiling above you at this point, though.
No, thank you. I'm good.
All right. So as you're doing that and suiting up, the enemies have pushed forward and they've actually managed to take out the first of the turrets. The 4 people who were still up have managed to fall back as well with more injuries. But things are spread out a little bit more, so the grenades aren't quite as effective. It's more of an even fight, though, at this point, with fewer cover options and choke points, and then they can fall back to the occasional turret.
Mm-hmm.
Finn is at this point. Finn is getting impatient and also kind of ticked off because those are some of her friends down there in some cases, and she just like slams a hand down on the desk with another fuck and is like sprinting back to the mech because she's going to get there and she's going to help.
Okay, so you and John Texas Crow take your mechs as far as you can, I guess. There's still a fair amount of smaller, definitely not mech-sized hallways or tunnels to get through. But a locust is pretty small, and you're
I'm a good pilot.
You're an overconfident pilot.
Notice the change in language there.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact that they tried to keep me from it.
So yeah, there's no way that Phoenix Hawk could fit down there. But man, if you could get the Locust down in there to lay down some fire, maybe. I don't know if it's worth trying, but what do
Finn
you
is.
think?
Finn definitely thinks it's worth trying.
All right,
She doesn't even hesitate.
it'll be a difficult piloting roll then.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at my one edge. Oh wait, no, I increased it to 2 last week.
Yes.
Just for bookkeeping
Wise.
purposes, yep. It's a new session, so your edge would have refreshed.
I know.
That's good
And-
news.
And you're all back to starting session plot points, so that's 4.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. All right. Pilot. 2d6 plus 7. Can I know what you rolled before I decide if I'm going to re-roll with edge?
Yeah, because you can actually use edge to influence the other rolls.
Because I can make you re-roll as well.
I
What did you get?
I rolled 4 dice against you on this because it's really
Jeez.
hard. I got 3
Yeah.
4s and a 3, so that's a total of 15. You're going to need to get 8 or better on your own roll to beat that.
I'm gonna re-roll both of mine.
Both of them?
Yeah. No, I'm re-rolling one of them. I'm gonna keep that 4. I'm gonna re-roll the 2. Okay. Thank you for
Yes.
that. 8 plus 7
Boom.
is 15.
Nice.
Okay.
That's destiny right there, folks.
So you barely do it. You got it sort of hunkered down with those sort of
I scratched the paint a bit. It's fine.
digitigrade legs sort of folded up on either side of it as you're sort of doing this shimmy thing, and you get to this that part where you had shut down that blast door before, and it's open at this point because you've opened it in the meantime, but you go to move past it and it's a little bit more narrow, and there's this scraping, and you kind of get one of the legs caught, and you sort of have to push the mech forward some and kick that leg out straight and do this sort of hopping drag thing to pull it through and get it back
Okay,
under
I'm on
the
the comms. I'm on the comms saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure?"
and like
It'll fit. It's fine.
Crow's probably out of his Phoenix Hawk, like thinking about getting down there, but like if you go down there, you're gonna get crushed by the locust that's trying to squeeze through at this point. So
It'll fit. It's
kinda-
fine. Just half a second. I've got this.
kind of going along up behind them. Whoa! That leg kicks out from behind.
Phoenix Hawk behind, kind of pushing around a corner, trying to.
Don't think you're gonna make much
Just
difference with a
pushing it.
20-ton mech.
And from the front of your cockpit suddenly goes pop, 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 as you realize somebody's shooting at you from the hall just in front of that bar. You can see it now. It looks like they've got a heavy assault rifle. Probably not enough to damage a mech, probably. But that said, dude, can you really call what's on the Locust armor? It's leaving these sort of big kind of smudge things in the front of your cockpit.
It'll buff
just
out.
a burst of fire up the front. You can answer that with a laser beam if you want.
Yes.
And so there's a blast followed by a Wilhelm scream.
Just fired a medium laser inside a base.
Yeah, it essentially like took up half the width of the hallway. This is like this bright flash, and then there's like this weird sort of molten edges to the hall now on either side.
Bars on
It's
fire.
The floor is lava.
Literally, it really is.
All right, you're in position here, but this is as far as you're going to be able to go. So you managed to sort of stop them in the back, and you can see. Well, actually, both you and Crow give me a perception test.
Okay, I put ranks into that. Yay!
I got a 9 total.
So did I. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Okay.
I wish I could spin my edge for you.
You don't notice. Neither of you notice as that one of the pirates that's sort of still in that room, like managed to reach over just into the hall and yoink back the bag of extra explosives and weapons. Neither of you catch that. Cutting back to Ian Warden, what are you doing? You're moving up in the battle suit.
Yep, charging down the hallway.
Okay, so you come running around the corner. You know, just up here is where the fighting is. You can actually hear the sounds of the gunfire, and you can see some ricochets firing. And Charlie says, "Another turret down."
Well, understood. I'm unseen.
And you
tell them to pull back again around me.
And at that point, then you're just about to get up to the corner to where the fighting is. The four come running back around. Like one of them is, toward the front has an assault rifle. The other one behind is carrying a few things, and then the other two, like one of them is leaning heavily on the other. They both look really bloody. They all just kind of stop and look up at you and just. It seems like they all look like they think they're all about to die right now.
External speakers, as I'm putting down the heavy I was carrying. Get this set up, tripod it. I'm gonna go around the corner and draw fire, and then that's what I do.
Yeah, they sort of like look at each other as you go running past in the big old battle suit. As you turn around the bend, it just happens to be right at the time where one of them has set up their portable missile launcher.
Shit!
Didn't even see one of those over the camera. They just had a bunch of gear with them, and it's just pointed right at you. And like you could see the look on his face is like, shit, as you come running around the bend, and you could see you could see that pointed at you, and that's like from your perspective, shit. So he's gonna get off the missile fire that goes firing at you as you're running up and erasing the flamer. Go ahead and give me a defense roll and then make your attack.
All right, piloting. Well, not terrible. 12 piloting.
All right, I got a 6 and a 2 for a 14.
Shit. Well, it's gonna hit. I'm gonna spend a plot point to make it a glancing blow, though.
Okay. It slams into your mech, but you manage to twist it to the side, and the front of the battle suit has this bit of an angle to it that isn't just immediately obvious. It's sort of worked into the overall design, but you can see why it's designed that way, because the missile hits and it sort of skips off the side a bit as it explodes, and it sort of launches you somewhat to the right, and you expect to go flying and bouncing off the wall, but it's really more of like it kind of kicks you up on your right leg a little bit, and you're able to step down. And my turn.
Yep. Literally. Gunnery roll for return fire is also a 12, actually.
All right, I've got an 11 total. So just with that, you just lay out the fire, and there's a few secondary explosions. One of the pirates toward the back tries to turn. It basically is fleeing while on fire and then falls down motionless. As you make short work of what's left of these.
Cool. All right.
And Charlie says over all of your comms, area secured.
Whew.
All threats eliminated. Multiple medical emergencies.
Yeah,
you
got
got a
that.
med bay in here?
Yes.
Powered up.
I should warn you, the pharmaceuticals have all expired.
Yep.
All right.
What a surprise!
I'm going to use the mech, the powered armor to help transport the wounded people to faster to the medical facility. I have no ability with med tech. Just going to say that right now.
Neither does Finn.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that, the next few hours are fairly grueling. It's like, you've won the fight.
She would know somebody in town who has that kind of skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's gotta be somebody.
You're kind of getting people moved and helping out where you can. It seems like, the people of Medgar's Folly, there are other people who have these some fairly rudimentary medical skills. No really higher end doctors. Any of those who showed promise would always be taken to the Baron's City.
Of course.
Well, if there's anyone
Oh,
or
I
anything
think I
you
have
need to transport, we
experience,
can use
I think.
pack rat.
Let me look at what's the cost to buy a skill from 0 to 1. Isn't it 2 experience? Because I have a couple
2,
I haven't
yeah.
spent yet.
Yeah. So
Because I can learn.
Yep, 2.
We'll put some
also
time into learning.
curious, there was some mention that John Texas Crow wanted to see about scooping up Shen, who was the pilot of the Valkyrie that he told to run away. And then there's also the crew of the Demolisher who surrendered. However, they haven't exactly been secured at this point.
Well, we'll secure them. They
I'm
can
going
sit
to-
with their friend inside
I'm
in
going to
restraint.
assume that you maybe have some people from town riding out there, maybe undercover over one of the mechs to make sure they don't get taken out.
They can take the pack
Yeah.
rat for that matter.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there you go. The keys are still in it.
Yeah, that's what I would like to do. I want to go and track down Shin and secure him and that Valkyrie, and make sure that and just go try to secure that Demolisher tank as well. So yeah, I that's what I would do is go back out there and try to tie up those loose ends.
I'm going to be more help doing
And for
that
a
rather than
while-
anything else.
For a while, Finn's mech stays like where it is. She just kind of ejects and goes med bay, help people. And eventually, I mean, once the emergencies are taken care of and she's got a new shiny rank in med tech, because learning on the fly with an AI to help, she'll eventually squeeze it back out or go around the long way, whichever's easier.
Yeah, the med bay in the Starleague base is fairly small. It's designed to accommodate probably as many as 10 people at the most. But you don't have that many wounded.
Right.
Cool.
But yeah, after the battle, then you managed to gather things in and take stock of things, and it seems like things went fairly well for you. There were a few people that were killed amongst the infantry volunteers in the town, and the fierce fighting within the base itself. But the team of infantry that was sent to do whatever it was going to do in the town itself, that was stopped. So they weren't able to run rampant back at the town. You were able to capture really, really heavy tank, a Demolisher, a heavy tank. It's really slow, but it has really big guns. Like really, really big guns. The kind of guns that make any Mechwarrior nervous. Even if you happen to be in an Atlas, you respect that AC-20.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has 2.
Yeah.
The drawback is that it moves really slow, so anything that moves faster than it can keep it out of range with longer weapons.
As we proved.
Yeah. You also captured the pack rat, which is it's got 8 wheels. It's a on and off road patrol vehicle, ground vehicle. It's got a SRM that can fire pretty much any direction. A rear mounted flamer, as Finn personally witnessed.
I got a little warm once. Fine.
And plenty of room for a good bunch of infantry. Other than that, you managed to capture a damaged Valkyrie. It's not too badly mangled. It's a light mech. It's about the same maneuverability as a Phoenix Hawk, but it is jump capable as well, and it carries an LRM-10 as well as a medium laser. It's a bit more heavily armed than the Locust that Finn is used to, but also not as fast. Jump capable is always nice.
She's torn. She's so tormented. This is my baby. But that one, that's also shiny. Well, no, but
And I'll say
the rose tinted glasses help.
Shen managed to get away. You did tell him
all
to
the
run,
way away.
and there's a lot of time for him to get a move on. Wherever he went, you don't know, but you might spend some time looking for him. But by this point, the trail would have gone cold. However, there was a mech warrior that ejected from one of the mechs.
Oh yeah, that was what's his name? Asshole. Dalton? Daniel? Something with a D. I apologize to anybody with those names that those refers to come to mind.
Is it
No, it
Victor?
was Bradley.
Was
It was Bradley.
Yep,
Bradley
Bradley.
Victor.
And he was the one you actually worked the most directly under with the pirates.
Yes. I kept this mech running despite his best efforts.
Yeah, he showed up in another mech. I think he was in the commando.
That's right.
Didn't go so well for him.
No.
Went better for him than it did for Ham and Cheese. Or the
Yeah.
part
We
of
didn't
that
blow that
military.
one up, did we? That one's salvageable, supposedly.
And I don't think you're going to even find anything much larger than the size of your fist left of that mech.
Bummer.
And you
Yeah.
probably don't want to touch it for a few months.
Oh well.
Chernobyl. That's a
Little too close to the thunderbolt going up, huh? Oh well.
Yeah, I think what I want to do is I'd like to take those the crew of the Demolisher and escort them back. You know, escort the tank, escort the crew back, and have a conversation with them, and take them to the bar, and I want to just buy them a round of drinks and talk to them a little bit, and you know, kind of schmooze them a little bit, and basically kind of say, are you you were working for that guy and nobody likes him. If you work for us and you crew this tank and you drive off anybody that comes around, we'll treat you fair.
The nice guy conscription.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave Bradley to you, Finn.
All right.
You guys can.
Yeah.
You and Ian can do what you want to do with him, but I'm gonna kind of give the kind of visit with those guys and see if I can kind of negotiate with them and see if there'll be amenable to actually working on our team.
All right, the surviving crew of the Demolisher is 2 people. A guy by the name of Bald Bill, who lives up to his name, and another guy by the name of
him.
Cutter.
Okay.
They both sort of have that look of having lived hard lives. You can't tell if they're in their 20s or in their 50s. They also kind of have that look and smell of having spent a lot of time inside of that tank.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take them and say, it's on me. Get what you want. Let's visit. You know, Wayne Waco once told me that every man's a mercenary. We all fight for something. What is it that you guys fight for?
Well, Bill shrugs and says, well, I do the driving. Cutter here does the shooting. Cutter says, I fight for... I don't understand the question.
Were you did you fall? How did you fall in with that guy with Ham and Cheese? Nobody likes him.
Liked.
Bald Bill says, we're from the city. I mean, it's either work in the factories or in the sewers or any number of direct jobs. If you get to drive a tank, then you take that shot. I don't know what the politics are all about. Our officer is an asshole who never gave a dreck about any of us. As far as I'm concerned, he killed himself. If you want us to drive a tank, and I guess we'll drive a tank for you.
I don't know that we can pay you much right now, but I know that we can give you a place to stay. I know that you can have some folks that'll treat you better than ham and cheese ever did. And the way I see it, you had no choice but to do what you did to that officer. He was going to get you guys killed. We won't ever ask you to do anything stupid like that. We'll just ask you to do what you do, stick around this place, and if anybody shows up that's playing for the wrong team, then you get to do what you like to do and shoot those pretty cannons at them. What do you think about that idea?
Cutter just sort of grins, and Bald Bill is nodding. Why don't you give me a social roll? We'll see how well this actually plays out. I mean, they're going to say what they're going to say, but I want to know actually if you've inspired real loyalty or tenuous. Well, it's probably tenuous either way. How tenuous is the question?
So I see this as negotiation.
That sounds good.
And that's a total of, it's an 8 plus 5, so that's a total of 13.
I rolled 3 dice against you. I got a 6 and then 2 1s. So yeah, you seem to have made a good impression on them. They're very relieved that they're not going to be like shot or, I don't know, forced to work in the mines or something.
Okay.
You think that they had no real loyalty to anyone before, other than, you know, just trying to not live as crappy of a life as they can?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna leave him in the care of the of the bar, and kind of make arrangements for them to get a place to stay and explain to everybody what's going on.
Finn, what about you? As Bradley is captured and brought in, he's pretty beat up. He probably won't be conscious when he comes in. What would you like to see done with him? Because one of the guy who drove the truck out to go collect him is pulled in, stops by and gets your attention, or has someone get your attention and have you come on out to take a look. And you can see, yep, there's you can see the ejection pod there, and there's like the medical gurney or whatever he's sort of strapped onto. He's been given some rudimentary medical care. What do you want us to do with him? He's one of them, isn't he?
Bring him back to the med bay. I'll deal with him.
Okay.
She says it straight, like there's no indication of in what way she means that, because she's still not sure, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't much like the idea of like killing in cold blood, which this very much would be.
Yeah, there's some grumbles from some of the other people nearby. One of them, you sort of catch, says, I don't know why you don't just hang him.
Look, I know how much of an asshole he is, as well as anybody does. But look, I'm not just gonna just bring him to the med bay.
All right, I think with that, what's Ian Warden up to during all this? As the demolisher is brought in and negotiations are being made for a crew that actually purportedly knows how to operate it. And Finn's been dealing with the other captive. There's people in the med bay. You've got this fancy battle suit. Looks like 5 more of them in storage.
Yeah. I need to put this one back, among other things. I guess, for one thing, I start talking to Charlie about seeing if the repair drone can get to work on the turrets that got hosed. That's going to take a while, I'm sure. Crap.
Yes, I've already done a damage assessment and begun some of the initial repairs. However, some of the parts will need to be acquired either from the manufactory or stripped from other weapons in storage.
What's it going to take to get the manufacturing back up and running? He said, anticipating the words "more power."
That depends on how much of it you mean to get going. As I haven't been able to make a full assessment, but I highly doubt that it will ever reach 100% capabilities ever again. However,
I can try and get Finn to help with more, but
my drones could only do so much within that area. It will require some direct human attention.
that's definitely going to be Finn. I can pitch in where I can, but so here's a shot in the dark. You wouldn't happen to have an uplink for communications, would you? See, even the dog thinks that's a stupid idea.
I have local communications. If you're referring to an HPG uplink, I'm afraid it is not functional. I'm not certain that it actually exists, given its position in the base. You might be able to find something at that location, or there might be nothing there. But I'm afraid I can't give you anything more solid than that.
You probably don't have the protocols to connect anyway. It's not run the way it was in your time. There's this organization called Comstar that would be very concerned if a Star League uplink suddenly tried to make a connection. Actually, I'm still going to go see what's there.
Okay.
Just to know, what if anything is in that unmarked section of the map. So.
Okay. Looks like it would take a while to get there. You might want to keep the battle suit on.
Fair enough. I will do that, I suppose.
I think with that, we'll probably take our break for today. Normally I go much later before realizing, oh, I should do a break. But no, this seems like a good natural stopping point. You've secured the base. You've taken some prisoners, doing some explorations on the base. It seems like you'll at least have some time to get your bearings and figure out how you want to approach what you're going to do next before the future comes crashing down on you with more mechs or something. See, we have some people in the chat. Seeing Sailing Master and Rebriton is here. Randall, good to see you. I guess, I forgot to mention at the beginning that this is a charity stream. We're attempting to raise money and awareness for a charity called World Builders. It's an excellent charity that helps to essentially get money to other charities around the world. Like one of those being Heifer International. They do a lot of good around the world, and I recommend you check out worldbuilders.org, considering making a donation there yourself. Or if you do any super chats here in our YouTube stream, it's how that works is you throw money at us, and it makes your chat statement stay up for longer, and we'll say thank you and read it on the air, and then we're gathering up all of that money that we get from super chats and sending it to World Builders. So with that, please consider making a donation either by joining with the super chat or just going yourself to worldbuilders.org. This is a pretty unofficial fly-by-night charity stream operation, so we're not super organized about it. We're just here to have some fun and see if we can do some good as well. So with that, thanks Sailing Master and AP. Glad to have some people here with us in the audience live. And for those of you watching this from the future, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. And we're back from our break with
Yeah.
part 2 of our 6th episode, Mechwarrior Destiny. Thanks for joining us today. It's been pretty fun so far. Have had some interesting things go down. Mostly wrapping up the epilogue of the battle. There were the pirates who made it into your base who had to be dealt with, but it ended up being
and by dealt with, we mean burned to death.
Right. Yeah, there were opportunities for Wilhelm screams, as one of them was just disintegrated by a locust medium laser at point blank range, and most of the rest of them that weren't defeated by the Medgar's Folly infantry that had rushed to the defense of the base were made short work of by the flamer built into the forearm of the battle suit that Ian Warden had recovered. Speaking of which, we haven't given the battle suit a name. I'm gonna put that up to our chat. So need some sort of like a manufacturer code name, cool sounding battle suit name. Like I don't know. I don't want to give a suggestion. I'm not gonna go with anything that seems incredibly silly. I'm okay with potentially silly or
just not overtly.
Right. So yeah, we're gonna leave that up to the chat and give that some time. Why don't you throw those out there? We'll talk about it in the after show, and we'll pick the official name for this Star League era battle suit. With that, let's get back into things. I'm gonna hit the button on skipping time a little here, as a few weeks will go by, as you're able to spend some time in relative quiet. The people of Medgar's Folly enjoy some freedom. There are quite a few various local squabbles of people are fighting over who should be in charge of this or that or what's to be done with this, but they're fairly minor, and the people of the town all kind of have this sense of being all in this together. They seem to come together and mostly at least try to get along, even when they're at odds with each other about an important issue.
So what happens with Bradley? Do they come to an understanding?
So that's a question here.
That's
so
the question.
Let's move to Finn. Bradley recovers from his injuries, which were fairly minor, and is probably being kept in lockdown in the actual med bay in the base. There's a separate one in a separate room. That it seemed a bit odd at first. It wasn't like a specialized operating room or something. But then, you realize there are restraints in there, and that's the brig in the med bay, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's been Bradley's room for a few days. As Finn, they let you know that Bradley's conscious, doing well, and he's been asking about you.
Oh, great.
And he also wants to know what's to be done with them. There are a few people in town who have suggested that he should be hanged.
Yeah, I've heard the whisper. Well, they're not even whispers. I've heard.
You generally get the sense that there are only a small number of people in town who would specifically want to have him hanged, but the people who probably wouldn't raise their voice or lift a finger to prevent it from happening.
Yeah. So it's not like a mob with torches. It's more like a, no. But they wouldn't shed a tear if he, no, I got it. Okay.
I think most would
she's
probably
gonna
consider it justice.
Yeah. So she's gonna go talk to him, I guess, and try and stall longer to figure out how she's going to deal with this, because why is this my problem?
Yeah, why is this my problem?
Why is he asking for me?
Maybe something that Finn might have thought to herself quite a few times over the last few days or so. Is a lot of the people in the town seem to be treating her as if she's in charge of a lot of things, asking her for advice on things that she has no business being asked advice on. But technical things, sure. But But yeah, so
but growing up in the town, she knows who to divert that attention to. Like, oh, go ask him. No, go ask her.
yeah, it seems to be going all right for now.
Heavy.
But yeah.
Heavy is the head that wears the neuro helmet.
Yeah, John Texas Crow's definitely gotten some esteem in the town as well. People seem to be a lot more, seem to appreciate his music a lot more. Sing along with a lot of it. Any of the ones that like relate to recent events or like make fun of ham and cheese. There's a particular one talking about his end in the mushroom cloud explosion, and that's a local favorite. And so yeah, you've been enjoying your own local fame as a musician, but you're also sort of treated as like an outsider. People don't ask you for advice on what they should do or where this should be built or what needs to be repaired there or etc. They just kind of let you do what you're going to do and sing along and have fun. Ian Warden is sort of they tend to keep their distance from you a bit. Like they seem to think positively of you, but also maybe a bit standoffish. Like they don't quite know what you're about.
It's fair.
But Finn is a local born and bred Medgar's Folly person who's risen to take the mech and she's almost starting to be held up as sort of the emblem of, or the mascot of this rebellion, so to speak.
Just what I needed.
Have you read The Hunger Games? Not quite to that extent, but it could go that direction with just the right push.
If it were televised.
So yeah, we'll cut to Finn stopping in at the brig, and you can see sort of looking around. Bradley's looking he looks vulnerable, which is kind of weird in general.
Interesting.
But he
Yeah.
looks like he's sort of healthy, but he's sort of sitting up in this almost like sitting up couch-like mode for the med bed, but he's got these restraints holding his arms and legs in place. He kind of lifts up a hand to wave, and you can see that the arm brace sort of has this retractable cable thing that he sort of waves, then just kind of lets it pull his arm back down.
It's like a retractable leash for a dog.
Yeah, basically, he's got a similar one, you realize, as a bit of a harness around his torso as he leans forward a bit and says, "Oh, hey, kid, good to see you." And as it leans back, as it sort of pulls
She
him back.
eyes him dubiously at that.
I gotta say, 5-star accommodations here. Never knew this place was in town. Lots of surprises. So, you're the boss here now, huh? Congratulations on the promotion.
Uh-huh.
No hard feelings, right? I mean, I was always nice to you. Not like those other assholes here. But,
You and I differently or have opposite definitions of
Alright,
nice.
sorry, I'm gonna jump in out of character here. You were super choppy there. Did we lose you?
Oh, my connection did a second.
I'm gonna try the region change thing. Hopefully that doesn't cause anything to crash. Usually makes things better, if only for a little while.
Okay.
Okay.
Think I'm back?
Yes. Okay. So
You're there.
in
Okay.
response to Bradley, it sounded like it was impassioned, but we
A
only
little
got
bit, yes.
snippets.
So her response was, oh god, let's see if I can remember now. Okay. You and I either remember things vastly differently or have opposing definitions of the word nice.
I'm sorry. didn't. Okay. So
Look, you're a dick.
thank you. I deserve that. What happens next? I've heard people muttering like they're gonna hang me or something. That seems a bit extreme, don't you think? I mean,
Okay, yes, there are people in town calling for you to be hung. And
hanged? Clothes can be hung, but person, it's hanged. I mean, not that it's that important of a distinction. I mean, you're right.
Great moment to correct her grammar, isn't it?
I was sympathetic to this guy up into that moment right there.
Okay, let me level with you. You're in a situation of power right now, but you're in a shit spot here. Okay, like you could do what you want with me, but you're still screwed. The Baron's got so much money and direct, like, if you'd have tried to make a deal with him, maybe you'd have some sort of a chance to be like the next, ham and cheese or whatever, but now you kick the hornet's nest. The Baron, he's got to oppose you, or else that challenges all the other towns. Everybody gets ideas, and it makes big problems. Nobody's tried to do this for a long time. But, well, you ever hear of Delville? Of course you haven't. It doesn't exist anymore. Now, I've only seen the pictures and heard the stories, but this is the Baron's planet. You either fall in and play your part, or you get toasted, and you're screwed. You should maybe, like, you and me, let's take a couple of mechs, get the frag out of here. I know maybe some couple of contacts at the spaceport. We get a drop ship. Like, we don't need to stick around and die like the rest of these people on this rock. You got a chance, a real chance, to make something of yourself, to live. Don't blow it. Don't leave me here either. I mean, I guess maybe you're just going to turn me over to get murdered by an angry mob, but I don't know. That doesn't seem like you.
You have no loyalty to anyone but yourself, do you?
He sort of, like, looks at you like he doesn't understand what you just said.
Why? Why did I expect any different?
Well, hey, why don't you tell me what you expect, and I'll try to meet that expectation a little better. I'm just throwing out ideas here, because, I'm not exactly in a cockpit anymore.
I don't know what we're going to do with you yet. But I am not running. This is my home. This is my family. And we will fight if we have to. I don't know what I'm going to do with you yet. But I can't give you a mech, even though you're a decent pilot. Because I can't trust that you won't just take off, like you just got your plans for. I can't let you out, because then those that once you're dead might take it into their own hands. So I guess you're staying here for now. Enjoy your accommodation.
I hope you change your mind.
Right, sure.
In a good way. In a good way.
I don't know how I saw that conversation going, but that wasn't quite it. that was good though. I guess he's still in the holding cell.
All right. So, what's Ian Warden been up to these past few days?
Well, mapping the base somewhat. I think he would probably have tried to sit in on a meeting with there's a town council that's talking to Finn about what's going on and things like that. You're the boss now. You're the rep from the base. Sorry, Finn. You just are. Ian's more than happy to not be drafted into that because he might be charismatic, but he's not of the people here, and he knows how that works. If he does that, he'd try and assess who in this room might be a fixer kind of person, someone who gets stuff done, and reach out to that person about how you might get a message off world.
Okay, let's see. Do you have a streetwise skill?
Oh God, no.
That would be the most appropriate for this, but
no. Protocol is as close as I'm gonna get, I think, on that one.
Okay, protocol.
Oh wait, Streetwise was another one that could have fit Finn. I think I considered that one, but I didn't give her it.
Okay, let's go with protocol then.
Okay.
I'll ramp up the difficulty a bit because it seems, yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. That's a 15.
Okay, I rolled 4 dice against you, but I got 2 4s, a 1, and a 3. So, yeah, with that, you're able to suss things out. One of the things you definitely suss out is that the people in this town are looking at Finn as their leader now. The general populace, that seems like a good, genuine opinion that she's a hero and they're following her to freedom and salvation now. However, there are some older people in the town, like elders, people, somewhat positions of leadership, not like, under the bandit lord or the baron, but, the elders of the town, like, they seem to be more like, let's let her be the center of attention and make the big decisions, and also maybe be like, if the trouble comes down, maybe it can stop with her, is the kind of read you're getting off of them. They're letting her step out and make herself vulnerable for the town as well. And but they're also not getting in the way of her. They're being fairly useful at helping her get things done. It's just, you're sort of reading them as like, I don't know how loyal you people really are, but it does seem to be like the town is sort of unified behind Finn, and like all these important decisions seem to be like getting thrown at her, and she seems to just know who to deflect it off to, and it often seems to be one of those elders, and they seem to like getting that authority put back on them. So she seems to be playing them perfectly to keep them on her side. Whether she's doing that intuitively or with skill or just happens to be how things are falling out, you can't really get a good read on that either. But you also get a read on that there's definitely some of the fixer types in the town. You end up going to one of the elders who he operates a lot of the mining equipment warehouses that where people take equipment out to. The mining here isn't such where there's like a single mine. There's lots of different deposits around the area that have to be detected through specific techniques and then mined out at different spots. So a lot of the mining rigs are very mobile.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a she for this. Let's see. What will her name be? Anybody have one?
Well, that's old Jenny, of course.
Okay, old Ginny. Except for don't call her old Ginny in front of her.
No.
Just Ginny. Young Ginny actually works the best. But
I think she prefers Miss. It's Miss Jenny.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
There you
Is
go,
Miss Jenny.
perfect.
But everybody calls her Old Jenny when she's not in earshot.
Lean into that old West feel we've established for everything else going on.
All right,
All
sounds
right.
good. So you pay Miss Ginny a visit. Ask her about getting a message offline, and she just sort of shakes her head a bit and says, "Oh, there's nothing like that anywhere except in the Baron City." And he has tight control over that. It's actually a significant source of income. Yeah, I believe there's actually a Comstar-owned satellite in the system. If you could get a message up to it somehow, you could theoretically get it out there with the right protocols and payments to Comstar, but actually locating the satellite and having a working transmitter, those are two significant difficulties to overcome. If you've actually got the Comstar clearance to send through, well, that would make it a lot easier. But again, just even getting your hands on the tech, it's not something I can wire together from a few old radios in town here.
No, understood. Real old clearances I might be able to put together, but I kind of don't want that flag getting raised either. Surely there's some traffic that goes in and out. Maybe the Baron doesn't care as long as he gets his proper remuneration.
Well, it's considered something of a privilege, but if you can throw the right money around and do things through the right channels, it might not get noticed. Anything from out of town, though, at this point is likely to be closely observed. So it would probably have to come from someone within the city.
Someone that a connected person like yourself might know.
Perhaps, but this isn't the sort of thing you make an open comm call over the radio. We'd have to send somebody.
Much rather not. Oh yeah, understood. I've got a message on a chip that really just needs to get slotted. As long as it's going out via protocols, it should route all on its own after that. First look at it, nobody's going to see a thing. It's nothing really to it. It's just, let's call it a letter to my mother. But it is kind of important to me that it gets out.
If it's important to you, what's in it for me?
Well, that's a good question. I would imagine that arranging that's going to be a little bit expensive. Now, I don't know that I can give you the credit value for that, but let's say I make you a trade. That base that we've opened up has some sensor capabilities. It's got some technology that might be a little helpful to helping you track down deposits that maybe your current sensors aren't finding. Now, those systems should be coming online soon. Let's say I give you first look at them.
Go ahead and give me a negotiation roll.
Okay, actually have negotiation. Oh, that's not a bad roll either. 14.
I got a 5, a 4, and a 2, so that's 11. That's successful. Sort of thinks for a moment, purses her lips and nods, extends her hand.
I shake her hand.
It's a deal.
Why don't I come back with with two different chips? One of them will have some maps for you, and another one will have a message file for you to move along. Huh?
She nods and sort of looks over. Imagine you're in sort of one of these warehouse spaces, kind of a garage. Repairs are being made on a few different vehicles, and sort of hollers over towards someone who's got a welding mask on and lifts it up. Roger, get over here. Go and fire up that off-road hover car. And tell Cleo to get ready for a trip to town.
Well, in that case, I've got the message chip with me now, and I will pass that along. And I will hand it, I'll just sort of slide it over the desk to her and say, I will be back in the next 2 days max with your map data.
She nods. All right, I look forward to it.
Pleasure meeting you, Miss Jenny. And I will go back and as soon as I'm out of range of listeners, let's say like on my bike or whatever I rode over to get over here, I will patch over to Charlie and say, hey, Charlie, how quickly can you get the ground sensors online? Please tell me 48 hours.
I will need some help with that.
One sec. Hey,
Finn
Finn.
decides somewhere off in the distance.
Hey, Finn. Can I put a priority on your list?
Okay. What do you need?
I need ground sensors online from the base, preferably like mineral detection.
All right. Okay. I'll coordinate with Charlie and the dozen other things I've got on my checklist at the moment.
Much obliged. If this goes the way I hope it does, this may take some of your long-term concerns off the table.
Charlie chimes in with, I don't think John Texas Crow has been doing anything important.
He's keeping morale up.
He's absolutely the morale officer. He's doing exactly what he should be.
I have been working hard on my cutting some new tracks. I've got to cut all the tracks, and I've been working to set up like maybe even a radio program that's going out, because this talent can't just stay in this community. It needs to be enjoyed by all.
No, so, God no, not okay. I get veto rights on the songs before they go out to any of the other communities in the area.
Well, Finn,
I get veto rights. This is not a negotiation.
Man, I tell you what, you put that lady in a mech and it just goes to her head. I'm telling you.
Cool.
Right, so, John Texas Crow, is there any particular projects you wanted to get up to, or are you going to get roped into putting one of those battle suits on and helping move heavy objects around to get some things fixed?
Oh, I guess I can put my guitar down for a while and get lassoed into one of those suits and help out where I can. So
yes, come be a pack mule, please.
All right.
So I can do the fine tinkering.
We need to get one more person in that Demolisher crew. I think one of the two, either Bald Bill or Cutter, is going to find themselves upgraded to tank commander. We need to get them someone they can train as a pilot or gunner.
I'm sure that driving a Demolisher tank and driving a mining equipment is pretty similar set of skills. So
it's actually probably true. I wonder if Callahan's got anybody we can pull off for that.
Mm-hmm.
And hell, I can help teach that. That's well within the knowledge I would have learned. That's a couple of days priority at least, because that Demolisher is a town defending beast.
Yes.
Yeah, you're able to get, I should mention, you're able to get all of the repairs done on your mechs and vehicles as far as the armor goes.
Yep.
The actual tools and facilities that were just in the pirate base, and the parts they've got lying around are adequate to do that job. So that doesn't even require extra effort from from Charlie or anybody at the base. You're able to get the Valkyrie fixed up as well. Pretty much good as new.
Cool.
I forget what internal damage it had taken, but I don't think there was anything like fusion reactor destroyed or anything like that. It was
No,
pretty
it wasn't
intact.
anything big like that.
I think we scratched it. I don't think we did any criticals to it, if I recall.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
surrendered.
there was nothing critical.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I, think,
he-
I thought there was some sort of internal damage, but it wasn't significant enough that any of us remember what it is. So yeah, you're able to fix
Yeah.
it.
I think the internal damage to a light mech you're thinking of was the commando, because I think we limbed it.
The commando.
Yeah, the
basically,
commando did lose a limb.
All that
before.
was left really of the commando was its, I think, a couple of legs. Really.
Yeah,
There was an ammo
Yeah.
explosion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
But I mean,
So,
before that.
The
we limped
Wolverine,
it.
the Thunderbolt,
I
and the
think.
Commando were basically spare parts at that point.
hmm
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Well,
That commando gave us fits too.
we'll have to send a crew out in a tender to pick up some of those, because we don't want to leave those
Over
alone.
there, and up there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Take rad suits for that one.
Yeah, so with the town's getting about its business, repairs are done, and I forget, what was the thing you were trying to get up there? Oh, the manufactory. Yeah, John
Yeah.
Texas Crow, you start getting in there, like moving things around in the battle suit. There's a bunch of heavy stuff to move around and starting to scan the area, and this place is huge. Like, it goes farther than you can see, like with the light and the sensors, and there's just all this gigantic equipment, most of which you just don't have any idea what it is, but it looks industrial rather than shiny, white sci-fi tech stuff like a lot of the rest of the base. And as you're looking around, you can see there's just these you do recognize a few different what must be machining stations. It looks like there's some pretty high-end manufacturing stuff here. Like as you're able to concur with Charlie and your other lance mates, so to speak, you get the sense that this is the equivalent of if you can feed it the right raw materials and get this online, you should be able to break things down and more or less 3D print high-tech stuff, including components for mechs or battle suits or even like weapons. You couldn't really like build a mech. Like you don't think you could actually like make a mech-sized fusion reactor until at least with what is here. But that might be a possibility down the road. It's hard to say. There's a lot of advanced manufacturing technology here that a lot of it is fairly robotic or automated if it gets online, so it really wouldn't even take that much manpower to operate it.
Finn is damn near giddy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, yeah,
That would take a lot of things off your table in the short term.
within a few days, you manage to get some of the smaller systems online in the manufactory, and you're able to gather some of the raw material stockpiles and things that were in place. A lot of this is actually fairly intact. Some of the heavier stuff, though, in the back was destroyed by some sort of ancient explosion that actually caused part of it, the area to collapse inward, and there's a lot of rubble back there, and it's a big mess. But a good 2/3 of this manufactory seems like it should be recoverable and be able to be made operational. You don't think you could actually use it to make mechs, but actually building vehicles and replacing major components for mechs is definitely not out of the question.
How about components to get the geothermal tap working again?
Looking into the geothermal tap is another mess because there was a potential. Basically there was a lava backwash that came over a lot of it. So a lot of it's just buried under lava that's turned back into rock and has been that way for a very long time. So digging that out is an extremely long-term project. However, you might be able to get some information about it and what you might be able to get up and running. Do you have any sort of skill that you would apply to that?
I have negotiation because I have an idea about that. The manufactory can refine raw materials, right? So I'm going to bet that it's got some capabilities for refining that the town refinery does not have. I'm betting that since we've got a town full of miners out there, we might be able to trade refinery time for help unearthing the geothermal tap room.
Oh, okay. There we go.
I mean, I could probably, if I can print the right parts, I could probably jury rig something that could automatically dig.
Yeah.
I mean, it would need some oversight, so your idea would still probably work.
We could do both. Really. I mean, adding automated systems to the miners, hell, there's a trade, actually. If you created automated systems to do that then they could keep for further mining work. There's
you get the feeling Finn really just wants to play with this thing and see what she can build.
Yeah, there's also those 3 heavy security drones, which they're not functional as they are, but they'll need some sort of minor repairs and calibration. So you could adapt those to be mining drones if you want, or actually hook them up to function if you really want them wandering around, on their own.
They would make a really, they're security drones. We could use some extra security.
As we've seen, yeah, I'd like to get them back on for security purposes. How much? I wonder.
Finn's got a document just scrolling in her view that's got her priority list right now, and it's 16 pages long, constantly being reshuffled, more things added. Very rarely they get removed.
Well, Finn, why don't you give me a tech roll to see about getting those security drones back online? Ian, give me a negotiations roll for getting the miners in to help. And John Texas Crow, give me some sort of a roll for your overall assist with things. Or if there's if you want to jump in with the narration for something and use some other skill, here's an opening for that.
Yeah, so John Texas Crow looks at all the work that needs to get done and decides it's just too much work for him to do. So he goes back into town and he finds a bunch of guys and he decides instead of he's just basically gonna sit down at a poker table and see if he can win enough to say, okay, I'll forgive all this if you'll come out and work for me out here. And so that's what he's after. So I'm gonna roll a basically a con, since he uses marked cards. He's gonna roll a con to see if he can get enough guys to come over there and help him move stuff around. All right, he's got a.
So yeah, we'll go back to front on this. Go ahead and make your roll, John Texas Crow. I'm just gonna roll 2 dice against you because, getting to put on battle suits and move heavy stuff around sounds like a good time to a lot of people, I think.
Okay, so I got a 16 on the roll.
Oh yeah, you get them. You basically, I'm picturing like sitting down, like you go to convince them and get out the guitar and it breaks into song and you get them singing along with you, getting to go on their way, almost like a musical.
Yeah, I'm calling guys up from the audience to like take over and here you play this, now you're on drums and you're this. Now we're a band. Bands work together. Let's go do this.
All right,
so we get a crew.
You got an enthusiastic crew and a band as well. You actually find that the drummer amongst them actually knows how to play the drums and is reasonably good at keeping a steady beat. The others, maybe they can learn.
Okay, all right. Well, so we've got a crew down there, so we're gonna go down there and get all that work done.
All right.
Actually, if they're getting the work done, I'm supervising.
Okay.
There you go.
And let's go with Finn then, with the tech roll as you're working on those security drones. I'm going to roll 3 dice against you.
Yep. I rolled a 10 plus my skill and attribute of 7 plus 1 because I have a tech affinity is 18.
Okay, that was 7 more than you needed because I rolled 2 4s and a 3. So yeah, you get the security drones online. You have to their memory cores are completely blank, like including operating system. So you have to get a copy of that from Charlie's archives, which is easy enough to do, and get them uploaded. But you also want to make sure that it's not corrupted, and you have to go through that a little bit. And then,
so I'm also making good use of that computer skill.
Yeah, but then also there's the matter of making sure everything is connected properly, and there's a few burnt out components that were fried and whatever caused this, and you're able to get them up and running and get them adapted to what you need them for. And let's see how Ian Warden does with the negotiation.
14 on the negotiation roll.
Okay, I rolled 2 5s and a 6 against you. Do you want to edge that? Because I rolled really well.
Yeah,
I did edge it. However,
Can I edge to make you re-roll yours, Cliff, for him?
I'll allow it.
Just re-roll all 3 of them.
Okay. Well, the 2 5s came up as 5s again, but the 6 came up as
Jesus.
2. So I got a 12. What was your result?
it was a 13.
Okay. So yeah,
Yes!
good enough.
Yeah.
All right.
I think as part of that negotiation, he would probably at the last minute throw in, oh, I'll tell you what. On top of that, we'll if you provide the resources, the raw materials for it, we'll give you some printing time. You can print the tools you need to give yourself new mining equipment.
All right. Yeah, they end up coming back with they hammer down some things pretty specifically, and there's something of a contract negotiation that actually you kind of dive into for a little bit. It's almost refreshing, but also maybe a little bit exhausting. But in the end, you end up getting definitely some miner support in here, and they're bringing in their mining crafts, and started to make short work of the lava in the way of the geothermal facility, which so far it seems like the actual core equipment is fairly intact under there, but there must be some problems, malfunctions down the line.
Undoubted.
So again, that's going to be a bit of a long-term project.
Mm-hmm.
I think as we're coming up on 10 o'clock, this might be the first time in a few weeks we're not going to eat into our post time to wrap things up. So yeah, let's just leave it at that with the calm for now, as Medgar's Folly is taking charge of its own destiny. You've been finding out all sorts of interesting things about this Starlink base, getting some of its systems online. You've recovered quite a bit of salvage. Again, you have a Demolisher heavy tank with 2 AC-20s on it, a recovered Valkyrie light mech. I don't think you've got anyone in mind to pilot it as of this point.
Not at the moment.
Also, I'm not sure if Finn's decided to stick with the Locust or switch over.
She has not. She has not decided yet. I haven't decided yet.
Can anyone else even drive that Locust now is the question.
But yeah, I imagine we'll imagine she was able to get it back out of the hallway.
Yeah.
Without another roll. So
I worked it back out. It's fine.
We
I
took some
told you it
grease.
would fit.
We got the battle suits. We can help kind of move it.
yeah, it was
Just for a
kind of-
moment, picture the angry chicken squeezing down the hallway with machine guns and lasers, you know.
Oh, there's your mech name, the Angry Chicken.
And John Texas Crow has been enjoying some local fame, which has been nice, as opposed to the usual indifference and occasional beers that he's bought for him. Playing at bars, people are now enthusiastically singing along to his anthems.
You're drinking the beers instead of wearing them.
This is kind of the first
it's a
for
little
me,
of
guys.
both, really. Yeah, the things seem to be going well, though Bradley's warnings sort of that an ominous foreshadowing of you all know that the Baron won't just sit back and let a threat to his power go unanswered.
Right.
Yeah.
And he can't.
And with that will be the end of the episode. Let's go with 3 XP for everybody.
Cool.
Woo.
Very good.
And on to the post show. So for those of you live here, we have a little bit of a matter of business to get sorted out in the post show. Switch up the music here. There we go. This is our chill hanging out music.
Yeah, we got a name to pick for these battle suits, huh?
Yeah, looking back at the chat here. It looks
Yeah,
like
let's
it's
see
been
what we
busy.
got.
Oh, thank you, Michael. Michael said, love this music that's playing in the background. All the music that's been playing in the background has been provided by Prism Shard, which that's my name as a musician. I'd call it a band name, but it's just me.
Oh, man.
It's your DJ name.
So, yeah, I have a SoundCloud account that's up, soundcloud.com/Prism Shard. It's Prism with a dash, then Shard. But I have a bunch of music up there you can just go get and download for free, and it's also up on Creative Commons license. So if you want to use it for your own podcasts or YouTube videos or PowerPoint presentations, whatever, just feel free. I'd appreciate it if you gave me credit, but I'm not gonna, hunt people down and sue them. Whatever. Just I make music and I like to put it out there. So. And I was happy to discover as I was putting together the playlist for this stream that I have made enough music to have it covered for without having to pull stuff from other sources for Creative Commons music.
Mm-hmm.
Though we have relied on Compotech, Kevin McLeod in quite a few of our streams. Not for Mechwarrior Destiny, but for other ones. And Audio Blocks is also a nice resource. Not sponsored or anything, though. I totally would be if they wanted to throw money at me.
Audio blocks.
But,
You know what to do.
Yeah.
But bringing it back around to the business with the chat, though, here. I was distracted by someone complimenting my music. Let's see here. We have a battle suit, Star League era tech, and we're looking for a name for it. Michael Thornton suggested Comet Industries Future Tech. That sounds like a manufacturer, so let's go with that. Let's see. Sailing Master said Earthworks P1B Alpha powered Brigandine. Kind of dig that.
Yeah.
AP said Benthic Industries Deep Armament.
Deep armament, I'm going to guess.
Yeah. Any
Sounds
other
like
suggestions?
Now, it sounds like the Benthic Industries armament sounds like a good manufacturer, maybe for the weaponry, as opposed to the platform.
Okay. Yeah, so Benthic Industries. So actually, the combat armor, it was a joint effort by Comet Industries Future Tech and Benthic Industries, which designed Deep Armament, which designed the targeting and weapons mounting systems, as well as provided many of the armaments that are in the armory. However, Comet Industries has actually done the design and manufacture of the battle suit itself, and it is the P1B powered Brigandine. We'll leave the Earthworks out of there. So we managed to use all 3 of the suggestions. So once more, it is the
Nice.
Comet Industries Future Tech P1B powered Brigandine battle suit, created in development with Benthic Industries Deep Armament for the weapon systems.
Thank you,
I
chat.
should write that down.
Oh, man.
It's a
No, it's
big
not.
word.
Yeah.
It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Right?
I don't know how we're ever going to forget that, actually.
I mean, it sounds like real and official, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
It really does.
Ah, the power of crowdsourcing.
Yes.
I had an idea, but I think, Cliff, I'm going to tell you it off air and just tell you, because if it comes to bear, I don't want anybody having foreknowledge of it. Or anybody else, rather. Something was mentioned during play that I'm like, my brain latched onto. For a possible ending.
Yeah, as far as possible ending goes, man, we're it feels like we're just getting started, but we're like 3/4 of the way through our campaign. Actually, we'd said it would be a 6 to 8 episode campaign. I think we settled on 8 because we can't just end it now.
No.
Nah.
I mean, we could, but that's a really open ending.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Hey.
we can wrap up an interesting story, have a satisfying conclusion with 2 more episodes. But it's a
It
role
feels like
game,
the first arc of a long show. It's like
Yeah.
the first arc. It's the
Is
first
there
season.
enough clamoring for a season 2? Let's find out.
I'd be down for season 2. Let's bring in new characters and see who takes up the mantle next.
I wouldn't be opposed to a season 2, either continuing on with this story, depending on how things go, or even considering something else within the universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be fun. I'm not going to commit to anything at this point, though, because I'm trying to learn the lesson
I'd be totally
of
down.
not overcommitting to things.
Reasonable.
I've gotten bitten by the stompy mech bug.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, in fact, since we're in the post show, I saw a tweet because I'm horrible and sometimes scroll through Twitter while other people are doing their narrations.
Awful.
I found a tweet that is appropriate for the stream tonight. It says, Ratatouille is my favorite mecha anime. I saw that and I was like, we were in the middle of playing, so like I can't share it right now, but wait, we have a post show.
Yep. That makes all the sense right there.
I saw that and at first I was like, what? I'm like, wait, yeah, okay.
I can definitely see the relation to kind of like Gigantor, really old Japanese cartoon for those who are
Yeah,
into anime. Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, speaking of big stompy robots, I've been really intrigued by Lancer. I don't know if you all have checked that out. I know Trav here has.
Mhm.
And actually, Trav, why don't you just... That's a good segue for you to plug your recent work on YouTube.
So the last episode of my RPG review show, How Else Do We Roll, was about Lancer. Real brief, high level. Lancer is another game that attempts to capture the feel of Japanese style mecha action, mecha combat, not just combat, but also sort of a universe, living, breathing universe like this. Imagine for a moment being in the year 5000 and the universe, the galaxy is being settled, quote unquote, but as always, there's always conflict. And out on the forefront of that are the mecha pilots, who are sometimes known as Lancers, and the very weird situations that they can sometimes find themselves. It's a very good mechanical system tied to also an equally good narrative system. So you really you're always going to get time with the pilots and then time with the mechs. It's sort of a back and forth planned play method. That's something we might consider doing, Cliff, long term, since I know there's some interest in it. So
Yeah, I definitely
maybe
want to
that's
try it
another
out.
show.
I get the sense that it's a very like kind of quick, fairly light rule system, though it's also fairly crunchy and incredibly deep. So,
I'd say mechanically, it's probably about the same complexity level as Mechwarrior Destiny. It's just there's a little more attention maybe paid to the out of mech side somehow.
and a lot more mech customization options.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. The entire focus of it is you're building a mech rollout, and you can change that every time you deploy. The technology is all based on you can 3D print nearly anything in that era. So you can change your loadout every time you're preparing for combat or preparing for deployment. But the license level is sort of your character level, which defines what particular manufacturing lines you have access to the technology from. What pieces you piece part components together at will. Like there's, the idea of the standard loadout of a Marauder is always 2 PPCs and an AC. No, you can roll out with anything you want in something like this. As long as you have like the aid for the Lancer level.
Yeah, similar to the concept of an Omni-Mech, Omni-Mech, but a lot more customizable than even that.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, is it like a particular mech has X amount of hard points, and you can.
You've about got it right there. You've got every mech frame has a set number and type of hard points. Exactly, really what you're saying, mount points in that language. And then it's also got a number of system points for non-weapon extra systems like flight systems, shielding, drone command, things like anything like that. If you're interested in the rules, if anyone's interested in the rules, they're available for free if you're just looking to play at massif-press.itch.io, if I recall the URL correctly. It's definitely in the description of the video that I put out. Search for Massif Press Lancer. You will find it. Absolutely. MASSIF Press.
Yeah, and if you just do an internet search for Lancer RPG rules.
Oh yeah, that was the first link I found. Yeah, I just did that, and I was like, "Oh, there's the link."
Yep, you're getting a whole rule set. You're getting art assets and everything for all of the mechs, all the player rules. The only thing you're going to get if you're not buying it is the GM rules and the setting. A lot of setting information. I will say, about 8 million people have the rules and maybe don't even know it because it was included in the Bundle for Racial Justice last year that itch.io put out. So you may have the rules in your inbox right now and just need to go download them.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually how I got my copy of the main rules. Before that, I had the free one. There's so much packaged in there already, but it's a fun
still
setting.
Releasing more.
And the art style is just really cool.
Beautiful. Main art is by the artist from Kill 6 Billion Demons. And he was also one of the designers of the game.
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
I look forward to trying it out. I've been inspired every time I've sort of read over it. This looks like a game I want to try, but
yep.
Cool. I definitely want to play a few rounds before I try doing it as a live show, though.
Sign me up.
Awesome.
Well, let's talk about it.
I guess before we wrap things up for the evening, anyone else want to speak up and promote something that's going on? I'll jump in and say every Sunday is the Shadowcasters Network live show. We talk about tabletop gaming news and a variety of different topics. It's really fun to be there live. We have the Stupid Game, which is just actually the main attraction. Really need to show up and check that out. But that's every Sunday at let's see, time zones. I want to say it's 8 to 10 p.m. like this show.
I think that's
Central,
right.
Or 9 to 11 Eastern. So hopefully that's the case because that's what I just said. And Ava, you had something?
Yeah, I guess the biggest game I'm in, the other biggest thing I'm due right now, aside from this, is Monday nights. You can catch me over on Master of Rem's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Master of Rem, REM, where we play a Dresden Files game using a new tabletop RPG system, the Cortex Prime system, not Fate. Having a lot of fun with that. Set in Albany, New York in 2007. And I'm playing a mundane who is realizing, well, okay, she's not quite realizing she's not as mundane as she thinks. She's accidentally doing some things that she's unaware of and might have just killed somebody at the end of last session. That's where we left off.
It happens.
in her bookstore. So that's a lot of
Very
fun.
good.
You should come check it out. We are at, oh dear, I was just looking at the time and I completely forgot. 8 p.m. Central. I think we go for about 2 hours.
It makes it easy to remember the
So-
times, right? Mechwarrior Destiny, Shadowcasters Dork Show, Dresden Files,
All happen at the same time, just different days.
Yay! Awesome.
Now we know where Lancer's going to happen. It's just a matter of what day.
Yeah, right? I mean, I also have this Thursday, I have my D&D game over on Lucas G Variety's Twitch channel. We're going through Yawning Portal, and it's the same time slot.
Very good.
Apparently, the
Enjoy
chat
the
thing,
Doom of Horrors when you get there.
Yeah.
What'd you say about the chat, Cliff?
apparently the chat thing is holding the messages in review with the links, so I apologize. Those aren't showing up. I click show to make them show up, and it just says error. So if you're looking for Lancer, just Google Lancer RPG. You'll get there.
Yep.
As far as
Right.
Trav's YouTube channel, just search for How Else Do We Roll? That's the name of the channel or this series.
Yep. Search for How Else Do We Roll Lancer. It should be the first thing that comes up, actually.
Good.
Cool. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us today in the chat here, and also I want to thank you all as my players for joining me for doing this, because it's been a lot
Pleasure.
of fun.
Yeah. By the way, one thing to quickly plug, and this is
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't give you a
This-
turn. Go ahead.
well, no, I mean it's fine, but if anybody right now, and of course, if you're watching this in the future, it might be too late. But right now, PGI is putting some more effort into their MechWarrior Online game, and they're doing a giveaway thing. All you have to do is to accomplish one drop, and then you get 2 mech chassis. You get a Phoenix Hawk and a Urban Mech with winter paint jobs on it. So.
You had me at Phoenix
if you're-
Hawk, but then you mentioned an
Really?
Urban Mech, so
Yeah, maybe it's balancing out. I don't know.
Yeah. So if you want to experience Stompy Mechs in that way, then go for it. It's not everybody's cup of tea, and I play it, but I'm terrible at it.
Oh, that's right. We were
so-
talking on Twitter that we need to organize a drop together.
I've never played with friends, so
Oh,
that might make all the difference.
Back before I started the Arcology podcast, which is like 6 years ago now or whatever, a little bit more, I was really big into MWO. And I joined like a clan or whatever it is they're called. We had like organized training sessions where we do like formations, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, you were big into it.
I got really big into it, but then I just did not have the time to be attending several events per week to trade and then go up against other. It got to be too much. But yeah, I got pretty big into it. It is a lot of fun working, like coordinating over voice with people instead of just like hoping the internet randos that you dropped with are going to do something useful.
Yeah, I've only dropped internet randos, and I can't complain about anybody else because I'm the worst. So
No, the worst are the people who drop out of the matches before it starts, and then their mechs are just sitting there in the deployment zone. So when everything's over, you all have to go wander over and find the mech that's just standing around and kill it. I can't believe they hadn't fixed that in the years that it's been since the last time I played it.
It is, and it's always like the biggest assault mech is the one that's sitting there.
Well,
Like
the last
it's
time I
always the
played,
one.
I booted up just the other day after our Twitter chat, and it was a spider. It was just.
Oh, that's the first. It's always an Atlas or a King Crab when I play. So.
I'm looking forward to dropping. I saw my mechs are still there. I've got my Raven 3L, which is like kind of my main. I've got my Jaeger mech with the dual LB10Xs still kitted out and ready to go. Shadow Hog, I think, is my preferred medium, and I was happy to see that I managed to get Atlas DDC back in the day as well. So if you need an assault mech with an ECM suite, I've got that covered.
Very good.
Though I much prefer to move in things that can get out of the way of
just pick some evening between 8 and 10 Central, and we'll do a group drop. So.
All right. Sounds good. Well, we'll have to hook that up off the air. But Anybody else out there who's been watching, if you want to get a hold of us, I guess hop on the Shadowcasters Network Discord server. You go to shadowcasters.network. That's our website. There's an invite link there. And you can chat with us about stuff on there. And maybe let us know if you play Mechwarrior Online as well. I might get back into that a little bit. Nowhere near as much as I was back in the day. I'm afraid I don't have time. But might be fun to do some drops with some people. So it sounds like I just suggested we're going to do drugs together or something. But so
let's do some drops.
Got any of that Mechwarrior Online?
Yeah, so speaking of which, hey Ava,
Yeah.
no,
Speaking
Mechwarrior
of
Online's
drugs.
free. Like, free to play. You can just download it and
First-
play. It's totally free. You don't have to spend any money. I mean, unless you want some of the other mechs, of course. Then you just,
First
First
drop
it's on
free,
Yeah.
Ava.
First one's always free.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's actually how the game works too. So, yeah, you get some free
Yeah.
stuff, but
Yeah, that's how they all do it.
if you want the shiniest mech, exactly the one you want, then you might have to throw money at them. But yeah, getting that Phoenix Hawk for free, I'm gonna have
That's cool, actually.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I think it's time to wrap things up. Just again, thanks to everyone who joined me here today as my players and also as our audience and chat. It's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy Mechwarrior Destiny. Looking forward to seeing how this campaign's going to wrap up. We will be here again same time next week, and then the week after that to finish the campaign, or at least maybe season 1 of the campaign. We'll see. But with that, I think we'll sign off. Thanks, everybody.
All
Have a good
right.
night.
Everybody, see you next week.
Thanks.